महाराज दे चरनां च बेनती करनी आ। वाहिगुरू जी रुद्र, वाहिगुरू जी घन हर बूंद बसो रमावल, कुसुम बसंत गणंत न आवै, रब सस किरण उदर सागर को, गंग तरंग अंत को पावै, रुद्र ध्यान ज्ञान सतगुर के, कवजन पल उन्हें जो गावै, भले अमरदास गुण तेरे, तेरी उपमा तोहे बन आवै, सतगुर होए दयाल ता शरदा पूरिए, सतगुर होए दयाल न कबहू झूरिए, सतगुर होए दयाल ता दुख न जानिए, सतगुर होए दयाल ता हर रंग मानिए, सतगुर होए दयाल ता जम का डर केहा, सतगुर होए दयाल ता सद ही सुख तेहा, सतगुर होए दयाल ता नव निध पाइयै, सतगुर होए दयाल ता सच समाइयै। वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह। Okay, so on final week of torture, week 4. So we're just going to go do a recap of last week, and then want to go through a few things about why it was kind of done in the way it was, and then also away from the spiritual aspects, just Dukh from a treatment and recovery aspect. Just going to cover that, and then that's as much as I could cramp into 4 weeks. So last week we talked about more about Sade Pag, baggage. But inside of that we talked about Sanjog, who we're going to meet, Vijog, who we're going to get separated from, Arja, that's how much lifespan we've got, Guru's given us, Bella, Gon, Avgon, where we're going to be born. So Gon is our virtues, Avgon is our demerit scale, our bad points, etc. They come, a lot of that comes with us, a lot of that we develop it here as well. So how we use Sukh and Dukh in our actions. So we talked about when you made those kind of decisions about, say, I want to get married, or I want to make a friend, or the way you want to treat your parents, or the way you treat your siblings, etc. We use certain things from our Satogun, Tamogun, Rajogun, or Sajavasta. We use something in terms of how we interact. So we talked about that. Terminology of karma, there was a bit more about how Gurbani talks about it. Reality of our pain, how humans really react in terms of when we experience pain. Then WhyGuru controls everything. That was a big point of last week's session, is that something we don't really think about, I suppose, is internally WhyGuru controls everything, and we've got this home layer and we think we're doing it, but Maharaj is telling us something different. So our ignorance because of lack of fear, then we went into Dar, human beings, they seem to be scared more of spiders than WhyGuru, and different things like that. Fear as a foundation for Bairag. Bairag meaning when I'm the separation feeling. That's like the loving feeling that comes from separation where you can't handle it anymore. So Guruji says you need fear first before that comes, and then pyar, love. Ne, all of Gurbani, but prem di baniya, Gurbani is. It's really written. If you try to even understand a little bit how what Guruji is saying, bahut pyar hai other which, loads, bahut pyar hai, is a loving bani, Guru wants that to come inside of us, Worldly love, we talked about languages of love, about kind of interaction type love, but Guruji's principles were different, and there were 5 principles there we talked about. We won't go over that, you can watch the video about how we abuse those principles and love worldly things instead. And there's a ChatGPT AI view on the Gurbani concepts. That's what we did last week. Now, this week, what Guru is saying is, if we want to remove our Dukh, and that isn't the specifics of our Dukh, Guruji is saying we're Dukhi, but we've got a different Dukh that we don't know about. We got pain that we don't understanding. So we're living here and we kind of made these things, and we feel things, and we got some sort of pain. But Guruji is saying, hor pain hai sada. But Nanak sache naam bin kise na latho dukh. Without sacha naam, Guru saying, kisi da dukh nahi, no one's got rid of pain in the world, never. Dittha sab sansar sukh na naam bin. Guru said, मैं सारी दुनिया देख लिया. Looked at everything, how people interact, how people live together, how people get from small age to old age. पर नाम तो बगैर है ना. Guru says, sukh नहीं है किथे भी. There's no sukh, there's no peace, there's no happiness without naam. है ना. But Ram naam, courage return, that's naughty. Ram naam bin kyo man tira. Tira means comfort, it means patience, it means being able to settle. Tira jani mildi. So Guruji saying, naam to bagair, no one's ever going to feel any comfort dunya vich. So if that's the case, because obviously we've talked about naam indirectly all the way through. Guruji talks to us about naam japana si. Asi naam kale japde hain, why do we not jap naam? Why do we do it? Cleanse our mind, okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to do some simran. WhyGuru Gurmantar hai jap hum hai khoi. So we're going to do some simran for about 1 minute. For baad which then we'll move on, है ना. So everybody, तुसी अपना मन एकाग्र करके WhyGuru, 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 WhyGuru Ji Ka Khalsa, WhyGuru Ji Ki Fateh. Okay, what were you doing? What were you doing there? I don't say naam japana, I know that matter. What were you doing there?
Meditating.
Ki karte si?
Meditating.
Meditating, remembering, Hanji? Concentrating? Concentrating? You know this is a trick question, Hannah. Yeah, what else were you doing?
Clearing out any negativity.
Clearing out negativity. So these are common answers, Hannah, when we say, trying to, so we're not psychic, Hannah, but we're trying to concentrate, meditating, stopping thoughts, thinking about WhyGuru, remembering Ishava, staying calm. It's not common. We're going to learn something today, something different, Hannah. From Gurmat, Guru di Mata to. Do you know what this Bibi's doing? Hello Panji, she's famous. Hello. What's she doing? Ki kar diya? Does everyone know what she's doing? No? Anyone want to explain what she's doing? Hanji? Turning butter, makhan. What's inside here? ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਆ ਦੁੱਧ ਜਮਾਇਆ ਦੁੱਧ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਯੋਗਰਟ ਜਿਹਾ ਜਮਾਇਆ ਜਾਗ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਆ and we put it in there. You understand? Then what did she do with the hut? What did she do? Like that. She pulls these things, these handles. She churns it, she churns it. ਫਿਰ ਕੀ ਨਿਕਲਦਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ? What happens then? What happens? Lassi and makhan. So there's creamy stuff at the top. Let's be a bit coconutty about it. We don't understand India. There's cream at the top and there's like pani at the bottom. Santo makhan khaya, shash piye sansar. This santya makhan khande ha. Jehde Sikh, they get the cream and the dunya gets the pani at the bottom. So there's a big Guruji's used lots of metaphors and things and similes and different things in Bani which, Now this one I found it very, very useful if you want to try and understand. Because what we're going to do is we're going to merge a few things together. Now, everything we learnt so far, we talked about karma, See karma di gal kiti. We talked about our actions, we talked about stuff that comes with us, diamonds and all that, and then what we're trying to do here. sometimes we don't mix those two things together. So what we do is we just say, we do WhyGuru, 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 everything's going to be fine, and then our action is going to be cleaned up or something like that. Chalo theek ya. But it's a shabd, है ना, इस हुक्मनामा भी आंदा है, हुक्मनामा भाई भांडा धोए बैस धूप देवो तो दूध को जावो दूध करम फुण सुरत समायन होए निर आस जमावो जपो ता एको नामा अवर निरा फल कामा. Now what Guru's trying to say to us is a bit ए मन ईटी हाथ करो फुण नेत्रों नींद ना आवे रसना नाम जपो तब मथिए इन बिद अमृत पावो, है ना. What Guru's saying is that sada panda, है ना, our body is that, our body is that panda, and our hirda inside is the inner part of it. Guru's saying clean it first, है ना, because first clean it, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਧੂਫ ਦੇ, ਇਹਨੇ ਧੂਫ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ, ਇਹ ਪਖੰਡ ਜਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਧੂਫ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨੇ ਧੂਫ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ just to make it smell a bit better, ਹੈ ਨਾ. But then after ਧੂਫ, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਉੱਥੇ ਗੁਰੂ says ਫਿਰ ਦੁੱਧ ਪਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ. ਦੁੱਧ ਗੁਰੂ saying is your actions. ਗੁਰੂ saying that ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ day and night, ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਦੁੱਧ ਬਣਦਾ ਆ. That becomes our milk, ਹੈ ਨਾ. That becomes the milk that we're putting in. Then Guru Ji says, ਭਈ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਕ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ. So ਇਹ ਮਨ ਈਟੀ ਹਾਥ ਕਰੋ. Because ਇਹ ਹੈਂਡਲਸ ਆ, ਹੁਣ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਹੈਂਡਲ ਬਣਾ. ਨੇਤਰੋਂ ਮਾਇਆ ਦੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ. ਹੁਣ ਗੁਰੂ saying, ਹੁਣ you should not get maya in your brain now, ਹੈ ਨਾ, when you're doing that. ਭਈ ਰਸਨਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ ਤਬ ਮਥੀਏ ਇਨ ਬਿਦ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪਾਵੋ. He goes, when your jeeb does it properly, when you do simran and you do it properly, ਫਿਰ Guru says ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. You get ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ. Like the dudh becomes the cream at the top. He goes, the cream comes. So we've got to understand that. So I'm going to read it in Punjabi, you know, the Punjabi translation, absolutely, you know, Professor Sahib Singh, next level cheese, translation on it sometimes, you know, but, well, a lot of the time. But ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਭਾਂਡਾ ਧੋ ਕੇ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਧੂਪ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਤਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਧ ਲੈਣ ਜਾਂਦੋ ਹੋ ਫਿਰ ਜਾਗ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਮਾਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ. ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਜੇ ਨਾਮ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਹਿਰਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਕਰਕੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਰੋਕੋ. ਇਹ ਇਸ ਹਿਰਦਾ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਧੂਪ ਦਿਓ. We're just going to explain what he's saying. Because if you want to, so our panda is inside, no? It's inside. Because first thing you got to do, it's got to be clean. Your conscience has got to be clean. And what we do is, ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We do silly things. We do dumb things in the day, you know. And now conscious is not clean. So sometimes when we do part, we say part which man nahi lagda, you know. We say similar, brain just goes messed up, you know. Because the conscience ain't clean internally. First he's saying clean it first, get your conscience clean, Guruji saying. Inu pande nu theek kar, inu toob, inu changa to ke, toof inu de. He's saying clean it properly. So then he's saying, ਇਹ ਇਸ ਹਿਰਦਾ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਧੂਪ ਦਿਓ ਤਦੋਂ ਦੁੱਧ ਲੈਣ ਜਾਵੋ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਕਿਰਤਕਾਰ ਦੁੱਧ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਰ ਵੇਲੇ ਸੁਰਤ ਜੋੜੀ ਰੱਖਣੀ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਕਿਰਤਕਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਗ ਲਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਜੋੜੀ ਸੁਰਤ ਦੀ ਬਰਕਤ ਨਾਲ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੀਆਂ ਆਸਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਉਤਾਂ ਉੱਠੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਦੁੱਧ ਜਮਾਵੋ. Now look what he's saying. We do our daily come, we do our daily work. He said inside of that work that we do, that we're walking about, we're doing our things, you have to do sorti of WhyGuru now. Sorti means your concentration has to be a little bit towards WhyGuru, है ना. And even, you know, see Gursikh, you know what Guru says to us? But Gur Sadgur ka, jo panj pyare say that to Sikh as well. Jo tusi amrit ਛਕਦੇ ਆ, first thing what Guru says is tell you, bhai ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਨਮ ਲੈ ਲਿਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ in ਮਹਾਰਾਜ and your ਮੇਰਾ ਪਿਤਾ ਤੇ ਮਾਤਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੌਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਪਿਤਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ. But even the Shabad, what we're told, है ना, ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਾਂ ਭਈ ਗੁਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਜੋ ਸਿੱਖ ਅਖਾਏ ਸੋ ਭਲ ਕੇ ਉਠ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਵੇ. ਜੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆ, look at the state of our Punjabis now, na. Punjabis messed up. You know, Guru Ji says, just sikh khona ya, you better be waking up early te naam japda. You have to be waking up early. Te ਭਲ ਕੇ ਉਠ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਆਵੇ. ਉਦਮ ਕਰੇ ਭਲ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਤੀ, ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਨਾਵੇ. ਉਦਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਸਵੇਰੇ, you know, ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ there's an effort that has to go in. There's an effort, you know. You have to like when the brain gets a bit like thingy, a bit from its dream a bit, you have to quick get up, you have to get up. That's called uddam, it's called effort, ਭਲਕੇ ਕਰਨਾ, ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਫਿਰ ਕਰਨਾ, ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਸਰ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ. You know, we have a ishnan, shower, shower in English version. We have an English version. So in the shower, ਉੱਥੇ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰਨਾ shower ਵਿੱਚ. ਸਿਮਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ shower ਕਰਨਾ ਆ. Supposed to ਸਿਮਰਨ ਦਾ, ਫਿਰ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਜਪ ਜਾਪੇ ਸਭ ਕਿਲ ਵਿਖ ਪਾਪ ਦੋਖ ਲੈ ਜਾਵੇ. ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ. I'm sorry, this lesson might take a bit longer today, but ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ, you stay where you are, no need to go home. Guru saying, ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਜਪ ਜਾਪੈ. ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਬਚਨ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ, what Guru's told you as an instruction, use that instruction, and with that instruction ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ ਆ. ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਗੁਰੂ, that's called. ਹਰ ਹਰ ਜਪ ਜਾਪੇ means ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰਨਾ. ਸਭ ਕਿਲ ਵਿਖ ਪਾਪ ਦੋਖ ਲੈ ਜਾਵੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਪਾਪ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. All the pap that have accumulated, ਉਹ ਲੈਣ ਲੱਗ ਪੈਂਦੇ, you start losing them. ਫਿਰ ਚੜ੍ਹੇ ਦਿਵਸ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਗਾਵੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸੇ ਦਿਨ ਚੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਗਾਉਣੀ ਆ. So first when it's dark, you're doing simran, we do not simran, then as the ਦਿਨ ਚੜ੍ਹਦਾ ਆ, ਉੱਥੇ ਫਿਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨੀ ਆ. A lot of Singhs do their Nitnem early as well, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ. Some Singhs do early, but ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ, Nitnem ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ, ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ, no problem. ਉਹ ਬਾਣੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੰਬੀਆਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, they read loads of ਬਾਣੀਆਂ. So ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ, after they've done all that, they'll do different part, ਜੋ ਸਾਸ ਗਿਰਾਸ ਤੇ ਆਏ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਾਰ. Guru saying, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਨਾਲ, you know your breath's coming, look, we're breathing now, have you ever thought, breath ਆਉਂਦਾ ਆ, what comes with your breath? What do you think comes with it? Breath ਆ ਗਿਆ, what's coming with it? ਕੀ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ? It's all right. What breath ਨਾਲ ਕੀ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ? ਛਿੱਕ ਮਾਰੋ, ਠੀਕ ਆ, ਕੱਢੀ ਜਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ. What comes with that breath? Some of our hirda comes with it, Whatever's in our hirda, whatever's inside, that comes out in our breathing as well. Guru says, ਸਵਾਸਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਕਰ, ਜੋ ਸਾਸ ਗਿਰਾਸ ਤੇ ਆਏ ਮੇਰਾ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਸੋ ਗੁਰ ਸੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਮਨ ਭਾਵੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ. ਗੁਰੂ ਮਨ ਭਾਵੇ means ਗੁਰੂ gets happy. ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਆਲ ਹੋਵੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਵਾਮੀ, ਤਿਸ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਤਿਸ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਗੁਰੂ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਸੁਣਾਵੇ. ਉਸ ਸਿੱਖ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਰ ਗੁਰੂ starts telling him stuff. Guru starts giving him bakshish. He starts telling him, this is Gurmat. ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਧੂੜ ਮੰਗੇ ਤਿਸ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖੀ, ਜੋ ਆਪ ਜਪੈ ਅਵਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਾਵੇ. Guru says, I want ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਧੂੜ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪ ਜਪਦੇ ਆ, ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ. That's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be the Sikh who do japana. We tell everyone else to do japana. But we do party sharty and we say, ਤੂੰ ਵੀ party sharty ਕਰ, It's ਪੁੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਸਾਰੇ. Now look at this, what it says, hey Bhai, that this is a center point, ਰਹਾਓ ਤੇ ਜਪੋ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਨਾਮਾ, ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰਸੰਨ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨਾਮ ਹੀ ਜਪੋ. ਜੇ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰਨਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ doesn't get ਖੁਸ਼ ਤੀਰਥ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ. WhyGuru doesn't get ਖੁਸ਼ if I pray to the east, the west, southwest, northeast. You don't care. ਇਹਦਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਖੁਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ. ਜੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਪਈ, ਧਰਮ ਕਰਮ ਪਖੰਡ ਜੋ ਦੀਸੈ ਤੇ ਜਮ ਜਾਗਾਤੀ ਲੂਟੈ. Guru Ji tells us in these shabds like that, ਭਈ ਕੋਟ ਤੀਰਥ ਮੱਜਨ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ, ਇਸ ਕਲ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਲ ਭਰੀ ਜਾਏ. ਕਲਯੁਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ if you start going to these places of pilgrimage, Guru says ਮੈਲ ਆ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਹ. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗ ਜੋ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਜਾਏ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ, those who come to the ਸੰਗਤ and say ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ ਗਾਉਣਾ ਆ, ਬਾਣੀ ਗਾਉਣੀ ਆ, Guru says ਉਹ ਨਿਰਮਲ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ, they become purified, ਸੋ ਜਪੋ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕੋ ਨਾਮਾ ਅਵਰ ਨਿਰਾਫਲ ਕੰਮਾ. ਸਿਮਰਨ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰਸੰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਸਾਰੇ ਉਦਮ ਵਿਅਰਥ ਹਨ. ਲਵਲੀ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਸਲੇਸ਼ਨ. ਆਪਣੇ ਇਸ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਵਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰੋ. ਫਸਟ ਥਿੰਗ, ਇਹ ਮਨ ਇਤਿਹਾਦ ਕਰੋ. ਇਹਨੂੰ you have to control the ਮਨ now, you have to stop it. ਜੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਦਾ. ਆਤਮਿਕ ਜੀਵਨ ਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਮਨ ਰੂਪ ਈਟੀਆਂ ਹੱਥ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੜੋ. They call ਈਟੀਆਂ, what the Bubi was holding, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਈਟੀਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ. ਮਾਇਆ ਦੇ ਮੋਹ ਦੀ ਨੀਂਦ ਮਨ ਉੱਤੇ ਪ੍ਰਭਾਵ ਨਾ ਪਾਏ, ਇਹ ਹੈ ਨੇਤਰਾ. ਜੀਵ ਨਾਲ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋ. ਜਿਉਂ ਜਿਉਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪੋਗੇ ਤਿਉਂ ਤਿਉਂ ਇਹ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਕਿਰਤਕਾਰ ਰੂਪ ਦੁੱਧ ਰਿੜਕੀਦਾ ਰਹੇਗਾ. ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤਰੀਕਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਰੋਜ਼ਾਨਾ ਕਿਰਤਕਾਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੀ ਨਾਮ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਕਰ ਲਵੋਗੇ. This is another ਪੰਕਤੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣੇ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਡੱਬਾ ਬਣਾਏ, ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਟਿਕਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੇ, ਉਸ ਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਸਰੋਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰੇ. So when we come Gurdwara, na, so ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਮ ਜਪਣਾ like this. We're going to learn more about this. Don't worry if you're not fully understanding it yet. We've got to go into this yet. But when we go to the Gurdwara, ਅਸੀਂ ਸੰਗਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਦੇ ਪੱਤਰਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰਸੰਨ ਕਰੇ, ਜੇ ਜੀਵ ਸੇਵਕ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਆਪਾ ਭਾਵ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਸਦੇ ਠਾਕਰ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਦੀ ਸੇਵਾ ਸਿਮਰਨ ਕਰੇ, ਤਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤਰੀਕਿਆਂ ਨਾਲ ਉਹ ਜੀਵ ਮਾਲਕ ਪ੍ਰਭੂ ਨੂੰ ਸਦਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ. ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, when we come to ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ, you know, ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ has gone a bit messed up now, isn't it? You know, hasn't it? Not in it. That's my Coventry accent. It's gone messed up. It's got a bit messed up now because you go there, the raggi want paisa. The committee is a bit corrupt. Maybe committee member, by the way, you know. The committees are a bit corrupt, you know. And sangat de lay, we're not telling them to do simran. We're just saying, come on, how much money is the program, you know. So the sangat is where everything was all going to come together, you know. So this is how we just do simran, right? So you've got to understand this. What Guru's saying is that we're churning water. जो तुसी सिमरन करते हैं ना, वो भांडे में दूध नहीं है, इसका पानी in it. So why do you think that is? Guru's saying you're going like this. But if you do water and there's no दूध, you use water, what comes out? Nothing. कुछ भी नहीं निकलता है ना. What comes out of water? झागे निकलूगी ना. It's going to go brrr, little bubble, it goes away, है ना. ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਰੀਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਵੋਟ ਪਾਣੀ ਚੋਂ. ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਾਣੀ ਬਲੋਉਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ, ਤੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਇਸ ਪਾਣੀ ਦਾ ਬਲੋਵਣਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਲੋਕ ਜਲ ਬਲੋਵੈ ਜਲ ਮਥੈ ਤਤ ਲੋੜੈ ਅੰਧ ਅਗਿਆਨਾ, ਗੁਰਮਤੀ ਦਦ ਮਥੀਏ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਪਾਈਏ ਨਾਮ ਨਿਧਾਨਾ, ਮਨਮੁਖ ਤਤ ਨ ਜਾਣਨੀ ਪਸ਼ੂ ਮਾਹੇ ਸਮਾਨਾ. ਲੋ ਜਿਹੜਾ an ignorant blind fool, ਜਿਹੜਾ mortal ਹੈਗਾ, human beings ਆ, it's stupid, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Human being बहुत stupid है, I tell you that. So no, कोई nice language नहीं है, they're thick. So stir water and churns water, wishing to obtain butter. फिर बाद ਵਿੱਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਵੀ ਬੀਜੇ ਬਿਖ ਮੰਗੇ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵਿਖੋਏ ਨਿਓ. Guru says injustice ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ, look at this injustice. We're so bakwas, then after we say, Guruji, can we get some amrit from that please? ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ, because it's ਪਾਣੀ ਬੀਜਿਆ, you're drinking ਪਾਣੀ. You're going like brrr. And if someone did it in India, someone said, oh ਪਾਣੀ ਪਾ ਦੋ, ਦੇਖਾ ਮੂਰਖਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਕੀ ਆ ਤੂੰ ਪਾਣੀ ਪਾ ਰਿਹਾ. You need to get, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਦੁੱਧ ਜਮਾਇਆ ਉਹ ਪਾ ਵਿੱਚ, ਫੇਰ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਬਣੂਗਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. You're going to get it then. But this is human beings doing this all the time. So following the Guru's teachings, one churns cream, and the treasure of Amritanam is obtained. The self-will manmukh is a beast, Janbar, does not know the essence of reality that is contained within himself. We don't even know अंदर की है ना, अंदर की बैठा है. Guru से नो अमृत तेरे अंदर बैठा है. Guru जगा देंदा है उन्हों. Guru wakes it up. It's inside. But what we've done with the amrit is, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰਤਾ ਸਾਰਾ. So now, when we look at some of these other ones, with जैसे धरती साधे बहु बिद बिन बीजै नहीं जामै, राम नाम बिन मुक्त न होई है, टुटै नाही अब मन है, नीर बिलोवे अत श्रम पावे, नैन कैसे रीसै, बिन गुर भेटे मुक्त न काहूँ, मिलत नहीं जगदीश है. खोजत खोजत यह विचारियो सर्व सुखा हर नामा, कहो नानक तिस पयो प्रापत जाके लेख मथामा. जेरे मथे ते लिखिया है ना, you know, sometimes you could try to bend someone's arm and say, तू नाम जप ला, तू आ कर ला, बाणी पढ़ ला. उन्होंने मथे ते नहीं हैगा. They ain't got nothing. They got nothing. उन्होंने पानी मिलना all their life. They're going to get water, you know. So what Guru's saying is, look, you could prepare the land in any way, but nothing sprouts without, if you don't plant anything, you know. Kuch bijya ta hai nahi. So what Guru's saying is, in that karma that we're doing every day, something has to be planted there, so that when you do simran with that karma, when you do simran with, am I making sense? Am I koi Bengali ta nahi bol raha? Is that making sense? You understand what I'm saying? If your actions are bad and they haven't got WhyGuru Chitta in them, then you sit down to try to do simran. Simran's going to be like water. You're doing brrr on water. In that किसी ने थोड़ा समझाया सी before? Has anyone told you that before? तो कर्म कितना नाम नाल कितना linked है? So, look, the mortal may churn water until he's sore, but how can butter be produced? Without meeting the Guru, no one is liberated and the Lord of the universe is not met. Hai na? Searching and searching, I've come to this realization. In Maharaj, when you read Shabds, na, the last two panktiyan normally, benti hundi, Maharaj ji, it's very beautiful hundi hai, benti, where Maharaj does benti. This koji khojat eh bichare sab sukha har nama, na? But Guru says, I've searched everywhere, but Naam is the thing. Hai na? But the only person receives it, jare mathe te likhya aaya, on their forehead, destiny inscribed. You guys understand that now, because we've been covering it. So thonu samajh aa gaya when you see that Guru says, jare bhag mathe te hon. But now you also understand when Guru says, Hirday kapat mukh gyani, jhoothe kaha balovas pani. Guru says, Kabir ji says, Gyani ta haiga na, mere varge, but jhoothe a, jhoot bolde a. He goes, oh, pani da belovana karde a. They're just doing pan. And when Guru described it to the Pandit, he said, Pandit, dahi beloiye bhai, bichon nikle tath, jal mathiye jal dekhiye bhai, e jag e hawat. He said to the Pandit, he goes, if you put dahi in, Pandit dahi beloiye, je dahi paunge ta kuch nikluga. Because if you start using water and doing it, he goes, that's what the whole Guru is saying, the whole world is doing that. See, pani use karke, and we made these spiritual little systems around that pani below na. Is it a mindfulness? Nonsense sara ho. Mindfulness is for your recovery. Mindfulness simran nahi hai. Mindfulness is for you to calm your mind down. It's not simran. वो simran nahi हैगा. Gurmat is simran. ना Gurmat Guru Sahib ने दसना है. Here. So this is what we're going to try and understand now. 12 things, because this is why we get Dukh. The reason why I'm talking about this, it might look that these things are going off the topic. These are on the topic. जो दुख मिलता है, दुख होर ना बनाओ, है ना? If you got a difficult life, let's say, don't make any more, है ना? Don't make it worse. And then Guru can change that as well. Guru can change the current life as well. But look, when I see Bhai Gurdas, when you read Bhai Gurdas's Bara, it tells you what a Gursikh is. Sometimes it's hard to find all that in Gurbani because you have to find a Shabd here. You have to find a Shabd there, then you have to find a Shabd. उन्होंने इकट्ठा करता सारा पे हों ते सुकोल कुमाई गुरमत हृदय गरीबी आवे and then he's done कुर्बानी तना गुरसिखां अमृत वेले उठ बहंदे then he's पिछल राती जागना नामदान इशनान दिड़ाए then he's done loads हों सादकी तना गुरसिखां सदगुरु नु मिल आप गवाया. There's loads of these padiyan like that, and you can understand Sikhi kiya. So look at this. Ego versus humility. First thing is, you spend the day, ego nu, pride, self-status, self-importance, recognition, sara chahida. If you want to do milk, फिर गरीबी चाहिए. That's why Guru says, पे मिठा बोल, तू किसी दी सेवा कर, होमे विच नहीं काम करना, है ना? So that's the first problem. Now, you know the दूध पानी बन गया होता. It's become pani now. That ain't Simran. That's not Simran worthy. Those actions are not Simran worthy. You know? Here, lustful conduct. Look how bad it's getting. Consuming sexualized media, entertaining lustful thoughts, inappropriate relationships, treating others as objects of desire. You know? Insan, banda, woman is just an object. You know, even Sadi Rayatya, in Rayat, Guru says, you know, माई भैन जो आवे संगत दृष्ट बुरी देखे थे पंगत हुण आ संगत आ. This is संगत. Downstairs संगत आ. महाराज जी पंगतां विच बीबियां बैठियां है ना, कहने जेड़ा माड़ा देखदा बीबियां नूं ਉਹ ਤਨਖਾਹੀ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਮਦੂਤਾਂ ਛਿੱਤਰ ਪੈਣੇ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? Even in ਸੰਗਤ with I've seen it in Gurdwara, you know, first coming to Sikh, I don't tell you loads of stories, but you know, when I first coming to Sikh, I was Monna, just started keeping my case, Dadi, then kaande kunde paaye se. Wahan went Gurdwara, and this guy comes up to my mate, and he goes, Baji, he goes, the women are so fit here today, and I goes, what the hell, man? You know, I didn't go Gurdwara. I never went Gurdwara. My mum never really took us. I went Gurdwara. I go, what the hell's this guy on about? Innit? I'm a Munna. I don't know nothing about Sikhi. I knew that was wrong, innit? And I, what the hell is this silly paki going on about? Innit? That was my thought. I'm sorry. But the Amritaris do it now. ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। we had a ਰਹਿਣ ਸਵਾਈ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ, ਇੱਕ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਆਇਆ, you know, come and dressed up in all ਬਾਣਾ ਸ਼ਾਣਾ ਪਾ ਕੇ he sat with 6 ਕੁੜੀਆਂ in the ਲੰਗਰ hall, different ones. ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਡਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ। You know, even Sikh, ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤਧਾਰੀ Sikh, they're doing ਪੁੱਠੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, and it's a shame I have to say it, no? Even here, ਪੁੱਠੇ ਕੰਮ, they're sending each other nude pictures. They're doing putte kam with their nange with their videos, but they said it's not correct because we haven't touched each other. What the hell? What's a dumb? I don't know. Kitho mat liya na. But this is what's happening now. People watching all this bakwas, na. That thing's coming to their reni beni. It's coming to their reni beni. It's whacked. It's whacked out. Bahut kharab hoya. Greed. Paisa, possession, comparison. Meri gaddi tere naal soni hai. Envying someone's success, dishonesty at work. I see even kamte, you shouldn't scam your bosses, you know. You shouldn't do dishonesty there. Is it tax? All Punjabis all do tax fraud, no? They say, we'll have cash, please. We'll have yeah, we're really stupid, isn't it? Why are you taking cash for? That's gand. Now, when you turn around and say, mera man nahi lagda, look what you're saying, guarding eyes, mind and conduct. Honouring the sanctity of relationships and seeing others with dignity. You want dud, honest living, contentment with what WhyGuru gives you, respecting others' wealth and earning it through honest means. Then nindya, that's the worst thing now. Now, WhatsApp. Now look, I could talk about Paji, and Paji standing here. Now, where's it gone? It's gone here. Did you know what happens now? It's gone on to a WhatsApp group. Then that's gone on to another WhatsApp group. Then it says forwarded many times. Now what do you think's happened with that? What do you think's happened with that? Hun karam ban gaya na. And I'm telling you, it's not a good one. Bahut mada hai. Par ninda sun aap hatave, je nindya sunde vi ha. You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to say, let them carry on talking, I'm going to go over here. That's Sikhi conduct. Now, spending time gossip, criticism, online, everything you see is just criticism, feeding the mind with judgment. You go walk away, speaking truthfully, kindly, just stay away from it. Stay away from WhatsApp. I wasn't on it for 4 years. I had to come off it. It's just like, what the hell is this thing, man? Kal Yug da, I call it Kal Yug da right hand. Sajja hathya Kal Yug da, that is WhatsApp. It's what's crap. It's the worst thing that's ever been made. It's dumb. It's dumb. It's a dumb application. That application, if you use it in a Sikhi way, we used it for, the Singhs in commentary. Amritulile used it. Singhs wake up, you have to put your 2 hands up to say you're up, When you get up, you have to put your 2 hands up and you say, Singh ut kare, uthya nahi. Now WhatsApp become what's good, for a bit. Yeah. Rani bani nahi hagi. Satguru ka upadesh kamawa. We're going to Rani Bani in our daytime. So our Rani, it's for Rani Bani pata kade liya. Asi weekend te Sunday jaake Gurdwara thoda pande tol mange, we look a bit alright there, But Rani Bani is not for that, So you're not applying any spiritual discipline to life, treating spirituality as a theory. This Dukh karna the Guru da instruction daily life. We have to do it daily, We have to do it in our day. And look at indulgence. Guru says food, sleep, entertainment, comfort, letting the body rule the mind. Churning milk is simplicity, moderation. Guru says, thoda kha, training in mind. There's all these arguments about mass khana, nahi khana, all that. If you read Bhagat Tannas, is dal sida mango kiyo, hamara khushi kare ne jiyo, paniya shadan anika, anaj mango sat sika. I asked for. Because, jere hal baunde ya, Punjabi jat, do hal bauna. He goes 7 times they do the hal edda of the sat sika kende ya. And then when you plant the fingi, the tarti is really good for planting. He goes, asked to Guruji, he goes, manu eh de de. That's all he wants. He's a pagat, He goes, manu aa de de te plant karke manu eh mil jave. He's khush. He goes, I'm really happy. Hanna manu mil jave. What we're saying is, I want McDonald's, KFC, I want this, I want that. Bakwas is all the argument. Sikh da acharan and Sikh da rani is simple. Or simpler. If you read Gurbani, keep reading it. It's simple. It's really simple, what Guru's saying. Uni duniya tode bandana ann pani thoda khaya. Uni ann pani thoda khada. Ann means anaj, that comes from the ground, you know. Ann. And he asked for dod as well. He had kyo mangde sige. So that's not the anaj, and he asked for kyo. And that's simple living. That's how you're supposed to live. Every Sikh should be able to live like that. Shouldn't be that person who just says, I can't live like that. I need to have like 95 different ingredients. Idha nahi hai. What happened with, you know what, my doctor gaya na, my sugar went to India. It went out the roof. But this because you're eating wrong. I was eating, I should put that, you know, on those monitors, you know, those continuous glucose monitors. I put it on my arm. Under the party ho rahi sigi when I was eating. There's a party going on inside, But that's what, all these things, they kharab, dunya kharabi ho jandi hai. It goes, your body goes kharab as well. So overindulgence, even raat nu na, try, don't get gusse. Try. Don't sleep full. Don't sleep all your hours together. Break it in half. Have the same amount, Have the same amount of hours. Break it in half. And when you break it in half, in the half bit, utte tusi bhakti kar lo. Binti, just like मैं थोड़ा over उपदेश से नहीं कर रहा. Please just you should try to do that, My attachment, living entirely absorbed in worldly desires, anxieties. Hi की हो गया, की नहीं होया, क्यों नहीं होता. You know what Guru says? Chinta. When we go to Guru Tegh Bahadur, चिंता तां की कीजिए जो अनहोनी होए ये मार्ग संसार को नानक थिर नहीं कोई पे चिंता का तुसी चिंता काले करदे जेरी thing you're not thinking, why Guru's going to do that? अनहोनियां गल्लां होण लग पैंदियां जेरी thing you didn't even think. So here we attach to that so much, but we've all understood that now from the last three weeks. But living a world and not being consumed by it and remaining inwardly detached, a wandering mind. पे बाहर जांदा बाहर ज रहा बाहर नू जांदा मन जाई जांदा है. Can you, have you pulled it? Have you even tried to pull it back? Have you ever done it where he says, I ain't letting it go anywhere? Have you even done that? Has he कीता भी नहीं है ना? I haven't even done that much to say stop it for about 5 minutes. ते बाहर नू जान नहीं देना नू. Stay where we are here, But it's scattered by stimulation, scrolling, distractions. Training the mind through Simran. Guru says, in Bharj, we discussed it last week or week before, when we talked about the sadhus. Desire, driven living, ambition, craving, sarakosh. Asa, your asa mansa, ये दो चीज़ें human beings got. There which asa, asa means your hope, your hopes and your desires. That is your definition of what you are, And that Guru saying, whatever that hope is, that's what you're going to get consumed by. Or hope, no, see, redirect kar rahe with Gurbani. We're making that hope different. So we're saying, Maharaj ji, meri aasa hai, WhyGuru, tu mere hirday vich vas ja, Then I can see WhyGuru. That's my hope now. You've got to change your desire, And then neglecting Amrit Villa here, raat nu party sharty and all that kind of stuff. Raat nu and swear nu, it becomes difficult. Rising in the early hours. And even, we did that thing, but what do you wake up for? Isn't that, the Why Am I Here book in there about one of the 10 things was, waking up. What do we wake up for? Wake up. When you wake up, what are you waking up for? What do you guys wake up for? Don't give me Sikhi answer. I mean, honest answer. When you wake up, when you wake up, you go, all right, great, I'm looking forward to going to work. That's majority people, oh, kamale uthde ya. Kamale nahi uthna si. When we wake up, we say, I'm waking up. WhyGuru lay. WhyGuru lay. Not kamale. If you're waking up kamate lay, you are chilla of your boss. If you wake up WhyGuru lay, you are chilla of Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So when you're waking up, first thing you say is, I'm waking up for work. I'll be honest with you. Look, I'm a bit old now. I don't think I'm going to trip over on some of those things, but I can if I speak too much. I used to go in, and I'll be honest with you. I was up for a few hours since go there at work. They go, can I get a cup of coffee? It's at 9 o'clock. Can I have a meeting? Wait, man, I just need a cup of coffee. I'd have been away. Half my day is gone. I'm waking up saying, what the hell's up with these people? But that's what Guru makes you. Guru makes you, he's a machine, you're a machine, है ना? He makes you into something that ਭਗਤਾਂ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਜੋੜ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਆਇਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਗਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ if you look at your mates and around you and your whatever neighbors or whatever and you're very similar na you ain't no ਭਗਤ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਭਗਤ ਥੋੜੋ ਆ well how are you ਭਗਤ Guru says ਭਗਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਚਾਲ ਨਿਰਾਲੀ we read it every day ਭਗਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਚਾਲ ਨਿਰਾਲੀ ਆ is different ਉਹ ਦੇ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਏਦਾਂ ਥੋੜੋ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ isolation from sangat that's always an issue. What happens is people, this is what happens, here's a typical Amrit Shakana process. Person gets really hyped up. Yeah man, my Amrit Shakana. I don't want to live like this anymore. Amrit Shakliya. Great. Nice. Start doing things. Eventually doing loads really strictly. Yeah. Then it just goes like bit down. And then it becomes like nearly back to normal. Nearly back to normal, huh? So then ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ see loads of ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਸੰਗਤ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ that's the worst thing you can do sometimes even talking badly about sangat that has a massive effect on your spiritual thing so be careful on that isolated नहीं होना attending engaging satsang doing sangat of Guruji and Bhagat daily we got a program there's a program at Walsall I don't know it's somewhere in Walsall on Saturday ਉੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ enjoy ਕਰਨਾ ਬਾਜੇ ਭੰਨਣੇ ਆ you know you should do baja we should switch the light off and after the you should be Friday class like this so switch the light off and thingy and then you know doing the baja with the lights off and then at the end of it the baja is going doo bust the baja but yeah then you did all right you gonna break the baja and when you work the tabla you know the ink should come off ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕੁੱਟੋ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਕੱਢੋ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚ what I'm trying to say but you know sometimes if you're feeling down you know the best thing you can do and I promise you this 9,000% it works the best thing you go in a room ignore everybody just sing with the kirtan just put some kirtan on and sing with it and you tell me if that don't work sing loud as you can you know I was when I was coming towards Sikhi I was in because I had to do a sandwich year in my degree thing, and there were 4 gore in the rooms, and there's my room, I didn't used to know what was happening. I should put Shabbat on, I started singing with it, and they used to come out, and they used to go like, "You alright?" I go, "Yeah, what's wrong?" They go, "You know, you just made a bit of noise coming out your room, They go, "Tika." They thought I was possessed or something, But I'm saying what you do, that thing, it takes loads of stuff out of you. You know, we don't use Bani in the right way sometimes. Guru says sing like, you know, keso kuki, Kabir ji says, ਐਦਾਂ WhyGuru ਨੂੰ ਕੂਕ ਨਾ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੁੱਤੇ ਕੂਕਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਸੋਈ ਐ ਸਾਰੇ do one day if you're feeling down don't go sleep ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ ਨਾਮ ਜਪ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬਾਣੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨ sing it properly sing it and you tell me if it don't work I'll bet you it works so look at these gane what we start doing is lewd Punjabi songs and these goreyan de gane adhiya nange dancing around rarely listening to Gurbani so pani ban gaya hai na and internalizing Gurbani through daily kirtan that's what you're supposed to be doing now if you do these bottom things hun dahi ban gaya hai na dahi ban gaya now when you go in sangat hai na man lag jana hai I bet you when you do simran man lag jana hai but when we do the other stuff we're making water ban gaya janam birtha jad jana hai like that byarth you know mere heere ratan naam har basya gur haath dharyo mere matha Guru said mere andar bas ke aaya na naam it's in here he goes because Guru ne ਇੱਥੇ ਮੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਲਾਤਾ ਏਦਾਂ that's what we want you want Guru touch you spiritually touch you like that touches you like that ਫਿਰ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਸ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਜਨਮ ਜਨਮ ਕੇ ਕਿਲ ਵਿਕ ਦੁੱਖ ਉਤਰੇ ਗੁਰਨਾਮ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਰਿਣ ਲਾਥਾ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਨਾਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਅੰਦਰ ਨਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਨਮ you know all that baggage we on about is Guru saying he takes it ਜਨਮ ਜਨਮ ਦੇ ਕਿਲ ਵਿਕ ਪਾਪ he takes all of it he takes it Guru takes it so ਮੇਰੇ ਮਨ ਭਜ ਰਾਮ ਨਾਮ ਸਭ ਅਰਥਾ Guru says ਗੁਰ ਪੂਰੇ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਦ੍ਰਿੜਾਏ ਬਿਨ ਨਾਵੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਿਰਥਾ Guru says ਨਾਮ ਤੋਂ ਬਗੈਰ ਜੀਵਨ waste of time is a waste of time You know, we've got pain and we've got happinesses. You can get caught in either one of those. A person can just be jumping around just saying, you know what, I'm successful because look at me compared to my mates at school who were there. Look at me compared to my neighbours and all. You can just be stuck in that all your life, and it's wasted, you know. This is on Share Charity UK. Please go and download it. It's on the download section. Bhai Gurdas, we did this about 7-8 years ago, you know. But it's beautiful. This is a beautiful piece of work, if I can say so. A designer designed it, but I'm on about this. Look, stay away from lustful situations. Parnari de ned na jave. Bhai Gurdasiya. Do not cheat or steal. Par darbe nu hath na lave. These are bad environments here. This is how we serve. Practice the Shabad and inspire us. Gur Sikh de, Gur Sikh milaya. Inspiring people. Giving to others. Hathon de ke pala manaye. You know, Sikh, na? Jo hathan to de dinde a kisi nu. ਉਹ ਭਲਾ ਮਨਾਉਂਦੇ they think oh, ਮੇਰਾ life beautiful ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ because I gave something, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Serve your parents. ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ ਛੱਡ ਵੱਡੇ ਹਥਿਆਰੇ. This ਹਥਿਆਰੇ, this is by Gurdwara. She's saying, and these are virtues here. But read these, go down and get it. It's similar to what we've got there, but it's probably more on it. Waking up Amrita, ਪਿੱਛੇ ਰਾਤੀ ਉੱਠ ਬਹੰਦੇ. ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਸੁੱਖ ਕੁਰਬਾਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲੇ ਸਰ ਨਾ ਬੰਦੇ. ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਹੋਏ ਇੱਕ ਮਨ ਗੁਰ ਜਾਪ ਜਪੰਦੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਯੂਟਿਡ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਮਾਈਂਡਡਲੀ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ. ਭਾਈ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਰਬਾਨ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ. The ones who start controlling their man in their Amrit Villa. So here, this is daily routine. Bhai Bhagat Gurpurb karande. Gurpurb, when the Guru's Gurpurb aanda hai na, ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹੁੰਦੇ Sikh. Sikh get really happy. But anyway, that was a thingy. So this is Gurbani now. We're really behind, but sorry. So when we went through all this stuff, you know, talked about baggage and all this stuff. As Shabd dekho, kati hi mai baap kat kera kid hu thamo hum aaye. From which mother, father, where have we come? Right? We've been countless faults and wanderings through many life forms. Have you ever thought, right, you know, your maa pyo? Have you ever considered that they're not your? I don't want to confuse you. Have you ever considered that they're not your mother and father? There's other ones that you had. That's what Shabd is trying to tell us. Agan bimba jal pitar nipaja kahe kam upay. Formed within the womb, with fire, Agni, from a seed. Why were we brought into this being? These are questions, So we do not even reflect for what purpose do we take form in the mother's womb through the father's seed. This question nahi puchya, why? How come I'm attached to those parents? We haven't even done anything like that. Mere sahiba, kaun jane gun tere, kahe na jani, au gun mere. Mere ta au gun bahut hai. You know, our faults, we got loads. But you know, WhyGuru's gun, WhyGuru's virtues, we can't count them. That's how we do ustat. Edda ustat kari diya. I can't count how many faults I got, but I can't count how many gun WhyGuru's got. Now your home will start dying, But you see, kete rukh birka hamachine, kete pasu upaye. It have passed through countless forms, trees, plants, janavar. Because of these faults, I've wandered through many life forms, taking birth again and again. Kete naga kuli mein aaye, kete pank udaye. Many times I was born amongst sap. Many times I flew as a bird. I've entered numerous species, crawling, flying, endless cycle. So, you know, Gurbani is telling us, this is human being, you're lucky, Aap manas janam mil gaya. I watched David Attenborough once. He had this, I said Attenborough. You know, he had this video. Watch it. It's this kind of little iguana things come out of the egg, and a sap come. It's on Snake Island. And it's like jamdoot, isn't it? It's like, you know, he described death, like it comes out of the egg and it's waiting and all the sap come to get it. But it's like a saja. It was an amazing piece of footage, Hat patan bijamandar panne kar chori kar aave. Look what we do. You get driven by past actions, we do choriya, He says, I've broken into homes, stealing, and all sorts of, but under the influence of karma, the human engages in wrongdoing, theft and deceit. But look what we do, when we do our paab, ਅਸੀਂ ਪਾਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਵੀ ਆ, but Guru was saying, Aggo dekhe, piche dekhe, tujhte kahan shipaye. I look around, you know, when we're doing our bad stuff, we look around, no one sees it, you know? We do it in private. But WhyGuru sees everything. That's what Guru's saying. Tat Tirth Hama Navakhand Dekhe, Hatapatan Bajara. I went to all these sacred places, trying to cleanse these actions. But gal nahi bani hai na, leke takdi tolan laga kat hi main ban jara. When he took the scale and understood it, the true trader weighs it properly. So this person who's properly inwardly understands, they understand that WhyGuru wa andar. WhyGuru wa andar. Our home is around that, and WhyGuru is controlling it, and home thinks it's me, you know. But WhyGuru is doing it based on our action. The home keeps making new karma, na. Jeta samund sagar neer bharya tete augan hamare daya karo kashmir meher upavo dubde patthar tare. Look, I've got so much pap, it's worse than the drops, than the ocean. I've got more than that, na. That's how we do ardas. We're asking Guru to bless us, na, with grace, because we're like patthar, we're sinking like a stone. Jira agan barabar tape pitar bagakati. The soul now is burning. Now this is spiritual feeling, right? Spiritually, have you ever felt like that? When I got burning, you know, it's like cutting, like a knife, na. Pitar bagakati, scorched by fire and blade of cravings. But if you want Sukh, look what Guru is saying. If you want happiness, one, you have to recognize command kiya WhyGuru da. What is the command? The divine will hukum kiya sade le. When we understand that, that's what Gurbani is making us understand. Fir Sukh hona hai. You know, when we die, you know, Baba, this is short one, but Baba Nangara aya, we read, so we might as well read it while we're live, you know? Because sometimes I've seen, we read this Alani other part, and the person who's died has probably never listened to it. Here's one party, you know, Padiyan bahut hai vich, but let's take one. Na Baba Nangara aya jag mein Dukh Sukh lekh likhaya. Look, we come to this world nange, naked, but inscription of pain and pleasures written with us, you know, according to past actions. This is an extended translation. It's an extended translation. Huh? It's not on the search engines. But we bought Dukh Sukh inscribed. When we talk about that baggage, look, the Shabad saying, you know, Likheda sahana talaya jeda purba kamaya. You know, the moment can't be avoided, and everything unfolds exactly how it's supposed to unfold. You can't change it, you know. The time of departure from this world, the experience in between, you can't alter them. Baisachi likhya amrit bikhya jitlaya titalaga. Look, WhyGuru has inscribed whether one will seek nectar or consume poison. So jasi WhyGuru anu jana, jasi jair kattha kari jana hai, jair. As one is directed, so one becomes attached. So this is all linked with our past action. Kamane ari kamane pae, bao rangi galataga. Look how Guruji makes it into like a scene for us. It says Maya, it gets a tagga around her neck. O kamane ariya, she's attractive. She puts it around your neck and she takes you wherever she wants to take you. So attachments, desires, illusions. Behoshi matabaya mana hocha gorsa makhi khaya. It's like a makhi, you know, makhi, a fly, it goes towards the honey, you know, the mitta. And it gets stuck in the mitta. And it just dies in the mitta. That's what's kind of happening in our life. We got that attachment. We went towards it. Utthe mar gaye ode viche. Pe naam marjad aaya kal pitar nango band chalaya. Look, marjad. When we say maryada, really, you know, when we say maryada really, one of the meanings is maranda yad, and that's our code. The code of practice that we're doing is really maranda yad vich, hai na, maryada jere kende. But anyway, naam marjad aaya kal pitar nango band chalaya. So in this age, one comes naked, bound away naked again. One enters this world with nothing and leaves the same way. So we just made more, like we covered on that week. So just wanted to summarize. This is Gurbani's, you know, it wasn't, I wasn't just making pretty pictures up to say, oh, this looks like a good way of explaining things, you know? So we're going to talk about processing it now. Jira, pain, yeah? So what I've started seeing is, people say, man, substance khan la pane hai. You know, people microdose, they're using like psychedelic drugs now. There's ਗੋਲੀਆਂ ਖਾਈ ਜਾਣੀਆਂ, ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ, drugs and all this kind of stuff. Don't ever, someone tells you substance ਖਾ ਲਓ and you feel better, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਇਹ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਕੰਮ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Now, you know, we went through this on another, you can watch another lecture I did here, is addiction. It's about addiction. But here, sometimes when we ask Sikh, does the Gurbani say you can't drink alcohol or do substances? No, it doesn't say that, है ना. But here, ਮਾਨਸ ਭਰਿਆ ਆਣਿਆ ਮਾਨਸ ਭਰਿਆ ਆਏ, ਜਿਤ ਪੀਤੇ ਮਤ ਦੂਰ ਹੋਏ, ਬਰਲ ਪਵੈ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ, ਆਪਣਾ ਪਰਾਇਆ ਨਾ ਪਛਾਣੀ, ਖਸਮ ਧੱਕੇ ਖਾਏ. ਭਈ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ strikes them down. ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਮਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਸ਼ਰੂਬਾਂ ਪੀ ਕੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. So that's Gurbani. Now this one, ain't got enough time to cover it fully, but ਗੁੜ ਕਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰ ਧਾਵੈ, ਕਰ ਕਰਨੀ ਪਸ ਕਸ ਪਾਈਏ, ਪਾਠੀ ਪਵਨ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਾ ਪੋਚਾ, ਇਹ ਰਸ ਅਮਿਓ ਚਵਾਈਐ, ਬਾਬਾ ਮਨ ਮਤਵਾਰੋ ਨਾਮ ਰਸ ਪੀਵੇ, ਸਹਿਜ ਰੰਗ ਰਚ ਰਹਿਆ, ਐਨਿਸ ਬਣੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਲਿਵ ਲਾਗੀ. Shabad Anahad Gaya. What do you think? Read it. I want you to just read it. What do you think's happening here? Guru's meeting yogis. Yogiya ਨਾਲ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਸੀ, and Guru ji did his shabad. What do you think's happening here? What do you think the yogis are doing? Yogi sharab ਬਣਾਉਂਦੇ ਸੀ. So what yogis used to do is they make sharab, they put herbs in, get the gud, get everything, and they used to make alcohol, you know? And they took alcohol and they get high on it. And they said, Anand aa gaya. They go, Anand aa gaya. Ras aa gaya. Sikh ਹੁਣ ਵੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, under the name of Maryada, by the way, ਹੈ ਨਾ. ਰੰਗ ਲੱਗ ਗਿਆ. Guru says, ਹਟ ਜਾ, ਉਹ ਯੋਗੀਆ ਬਹਿ ਜਾ ਆਰਾਮ ਨਾਲ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Guru saying, says, ਗੁੜ ਕਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਧਿਆਨ ਕਰ ਧਾਵ ਹੈ. He goes, ਇੱਕ ਜੇ ਗਿਆਨ ਗੁਰ ਨੂੰ ਨਾ use ਕਰ. Guru says, get ਗਿਆਨ. ਇਹ ਧਾਵ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਨਾ ਕਰ, ਹੈ ਨਾ. Your flowers ਜਿਹੜੇ ਫੁੱਲ use ਕਰਦੇ, herbs use ਕਰਦੇ. Guru says, ਗਿਆਨ use ਕਰ, ਧਿਆਨ use ਕਰ, ਤੇ ਕਰ ਕਰਨੀ. What we just talked about. Guru says, karni teri theek honi chahiye. Your actions should be right. Hai na? Put that into the sharab. Forget the sharab. Don't make it through the physical sharab. But pathi pavan prem ka pocha etaras amyo chawaiye. The body, make the body, the vessel, through this process, nectar. Hai na? But Guru Sahib jere prem ka pocha. You just put pyar in it now. Now put pyar in it. Now make spiritual sharab. That's why this shabd is like this. Baba man matwaro naam ras pive. Sahaj rang rach rahya. Guru says, Baba to the yogi, man matwaro. He goes, now mananu shrabi bana, but make it properly. Don't use shrab. He's saying, use Guru's formula. Sahaj rang rach rahya. And then he says, rang lagirana. You're going to get drunk properly. But anis bani prem liv lagi shabd anahad gaya. दिन रात ये चढ़ी रहनी है चीज़. What happens with sharab? What happens to it? When person drinks or they do drugs, what happens? It wears off, no? Then after it wears off, what happens to the person? They get depressed, no? It's a depressant. Usually sharab and different substances are depressants, no? Well, Guru says this doesn't depress you, no? Because you did gurmat di sharab hai na, unu pila properly. You get depression nahi honi. It to laga rehna, he's going to get happy. You're going to get happy and happier. But this pura sach pyala sahjit se pi aaye ja ko nazar kare, amrit ka va pari hove, kya mad chush hai pa utare. Because when this, you know, pura sach pyala, sahj Guru gives you it. Guru gives you that shrab, you know. He gives you it properly. When Guru gives it, ain't no little William the Fourth pub or something like that. No? Guru gives you it properly. Because je sharab palauni Maharaj ne. But ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਦਰ ਕਰੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ they happy ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. Maharaj blesses them, है ना. But Guru, look what Guru saying. If you're trading in Amrit, when we just talked about Amrit in that other thing, but ਅਸੀਂ churn ਕਰਦੇ Amrit ਆ ਜਾਵੇ from our karma. Guru says the person who trades in that, ਉਹ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸ਼ੂਸ਼ੇ ਮਦ ਵਿੱਚ. Guru's called putte things like sharab, drugs, smoking, tobacco, nicotine, blah, name it, whatever it is. Guru said all these things, है ना. He said, oh, kade shushe mad vich nahi kade penda Sikh. Never. Why would he never do pyar of that? You know, even we talked before in my last lecture, I told you, where Guru says, "Pe kutha hukka chars tamaku ganja topi tari khaku inki aur na kabhu dekha rehtwant so Singh be Sikh hai." Guru says, "Ona kutha khanda hai, hukka karda hai, hukka, you know, hukka, you guys probably know, hukka, chars, cannabis, tamaku, nicotine, sare name ganja, is named ganja and rehtnama." Pe Gur ki sakhi amrit bani piwadhi parvan paya. Dar darshan ka pritam hove mukt baikunthe kare kya. Now this is useful for us because we discussed this before. Guruji says, Guru di sakhi is amrit bani. Asli sakhi Guru diya amrit baniya. We hear sakhi, but asli sakhi is Guru di bani, hai na? Jera pinda hai na, Guru di bani da amrit, oh parvan ho janda. If you look what we said about, if you want real sharab, jeri gurmat sharab, fir madhushu nahi kade lene hone. If a person wants darshan of WhyGuru, that person will never ask for heaven. Hai? I see we discussed that before. The person will never. So that's what Guru is saying. Dar darshan ka pritam hove, mukt baikunthe kare kya. What's he going to do with liberation? If someone says, oh, you're going to be liberated after this life and you're going to get heaven, you don't want it. Sikh doesn't want it. So don't need it. Okay, darshan ka, I want to go to WhyGuru's house, straight to WhyGuru and see darshan of WhyGuru. Main heaven ki karna hote. But this is the point of it. Sifti rata sadvairagi juve janam na hare. Look, Guru's telling the yogi, he goes, you're gambling your life away with what you're doing. Sifti rata sadvairagi, become a proper bairagi if you want to become one. Let go of dunya and do WhyGuru's gona. That's what Guruji is saying. Aidan da sharabi ban tu, and the putte kam kari janda na. Kaho nanak sun parthari yogi that's saying, Khiva amrata tare. But aidan remain intoxicated like this, you'll be forever. So a Sikh, I just had to go through that because everybody watching it ain't necessarily going to be, because these are on YouTube, everybody watching it is not necessarily going to be as into Sikhi as you, but they're still wanting to know about Dukh Sukh. So it was clear that Gurbani tells you don't do that. And when you use a substance, whenever you use a substance to do to relax or to do meditation. You know, my story, Sikh Recovery Network, there's a thing for Shrabis. I heard that there's another one going where they use mushrooms. They're using mushrooms. Singh karte ho, Sikh karte, I don't know, it might be rumor, using mushrooms to get people off Shrab. Does not compute. I've got syntax error, line 1. What, you use substance to remove you from substance, beyond me anyway. Chalo. Shortcut mentality, substance promise altered states without rehat. Rehat leni is, we want discipline, we want a code of conduct, we want to follow a code. And discipline normally is required for mental training, but certainly required for Sikhi. So confusion between state and skill. So if someone just says, take this and you can get some spiritual experience, but a chemically induced calm, let's say, insight, experience is temporary. It does not build the inner capacity to reach the state naturally and is definitely not Saj Avastha. When we talk about the fourth state, that ain't the fourth state. Someone says to you mushroom kala or something, magic mushroom or whatever they're called, that ain't going to take you to no fourth state. You're just going to do whatever bakwas is inside, it's just going to amplify it. Dependency risk. When relaxation and spiritual experience is tied to a substance, the mind begins to rely on it. What will you feel if you don't take the substance? So then you can't do Simran then. If you say, I only do Simran if I take a bit of bhang, or I take a bit of like magic mushroom, when the magic mushroom is there, what are you going to do? Then you can say, mani lagda. You become a reliance, dependency, blurring of attention. So sometimes it's called mindfulness, it's called spirituality, it's called maryada, other world experience, but then it just becomes recreation and escapism from the dunya. Reduced psychological training. So if someone said to you, oh, I'll show you something. Imagine someone says, "Main tenu to khal dunga kuch." I'll show you a shaheed thing or something. As a Sikh, you wouldn't want to do that, And why you don't want to do it is because if you don't know how to do it yourself, you don't know the formula. So true mental discipline is applying Guru's Bani and things like patience, attention control, emotion regulation. It develops slower when chemical shortcuts are available. Then you're going to say, well, give me a shortcut. And commercialization of altered states. So now industries are packing these drugs as wellness tools, which makes chemical escape look like self-development. So we escaping, that looks like some sort of self-development. It's nonsense. We're going away from the center that Guru's telling us. And normalization among young people. If substances are framed as tools for enlightenment or calm, resistance to real Sikhi inner experimentation drops. How are you going to do it? Guru saying, control your lust. Well, I don't need to do that. I take a magic mushroom. Guru says, stop getting angry. I don't need to do that. I just take a bit of like LSD or something. Guru saying, attachment dunya to shad. Well, I don't really need to do that, do I? I just take something that gets me high. I'm not attached anymore for about 5 minutes. Bakwas, I never heard so much bakwas in my life. I've never heard so much nonsense. And that's from reading Gurbani. From reading Gurbani, it doesn't even, it's like, what Granth are you reading? It's like, you ain't reading Guru Granth, I ever tell you that. But you cannot meet WhyGuru without killing the mind through Gyan, Dhyan, Seva, Surti, Gon, Avgananu Tyag, etc., etc. That list goes over here, it starts going long. You ain't no shortcut. So, Dukh, if you're having Dukh, I'm not on about medication, by the way. If you're going for therapy and someone says you need some medication, sometimes some people need medication. They need to be, because their mind is not, they're not well. I'm not on about not well people here. I'm on about people who are well, thinking like, oh, I got next level. I'll just go to WhyGuru by just taking the God drug. What a load of bakwas. Anyway, this is Punjabi view of relaxation, by the way, just so that you know. This was the impact of alcohol consumption among Sikh, done by SRN. How do you feel or behave when you have been under the influence of alcohol? This is of the people, the bande, and these are the bibiyan. So relaxed, confident and happy are the three things, the most outstanding things that a Punjabi can say that they feel after they drink sharab. What the hell? That's where you get your happiness from. This is where you get your confidence from and your relaxation. Something seriously messed up, Sadi society the which. That's what it is. These are the people probably in your house. These might be people, your neighbours. These are the people you meet at your weddings. That's what they're getting. So we did this neural pathways thing in our in the alcoholics, but it's the same thing. So with this alcohol, so what you got to remember is, if you're getting a problem and we're internal, and remember, this isn't a replacement for therapy. I'm just saying this is a theory, and this is science. Some of the science behind it is that everything that we do trigger, and we get behavior, and then our brain is saying we're going to get a reward for that. Now we got to reprogram our brain. So if we're doing all this stuff here, something's telling you it's kind of you. If you're okay, then everything you're doing in your life today, you're telling yourself it's okay. So your life's fine. So you've wired a neural pathway, and remember, there's billions of these pathways. This is just exaggerated, But what you've done is, if you're saying, whenever I feel, when I'm alone, let's say when you're alone, something comes about that takes you down some route, or when you're bored, that's a trigger, and there's loads of triggers. And all these triggers are making us think. And what we've got to do is we've got to reprogram all of that, whether it's a spiritual goal, whether it's our mental health, or whether it's our addictions. You have to reprogram them all. So something triggers it, then there's a behavior, and then there's a reward. So this is what happens to alcoholic, just so that you know. And remember, someone who's an alcoholic is not much different, I don't believe, than someone who's addicted to the world. There's not koi bahta fark nahi hai. So you feel stressed out after work. Behavior is pour a drink to relax. Reward is you feel temporarily better. Brain releases dopamine. So over time your brain learns stress equals have a drink equals feel good. So this pathway becomes stronger, and then drinking when stressed turns into a habit, and it causes harm. And just, again, like I say, just more of the science behind the Dukh. So we've got dopamine, that's our feel good one, hormone. We've got serotonin, which is mood stabilizer. You've got oxytocin, which is bonding. So look, if you look at some of these things, everybody you need something to make you feel good, right? Sare nu chaida, you need something. And all our Pani that has all been all those things where we say, look at someone in a lustful way, be egotistical, long as I win and you lose, don't matter in life. Greed is tikya. So all of these things, somehow they're giving you some sort of kick. You know, when we say lewd songs, we say whatever it is. What we're trying to do, we're trying to unprogram all of that. So can you get a kick from listening to Gurbani? Can you get a kick by listening to Kirtan? Can you get a dopamine hit? Dopamine hit's not Amrit Ras, but it's a good start. Huh? That's a more enjoyable thing for you. You know what? When I first, I didn't understand what was going on. I just listened to it, and I started listening to it more and more and more. I just gaane gune se main chakke bahar mare. You know that it took me about 5-6 months. I chucked them out, man. I said that's useless. That stuff's useless because I could see there's something different. There's something different in listening to that. It's giving me a different thing anyway. But you know, everybody needs some sort of emotional connection, hugging, whatever. You know, bonding with a loved one, even childbirth, that builds the oxytocin. There's a big kick of that, huh? And the cortisol is a stress hormone, and that. So these go unbalanced, huh? Even when we're not well and we're not mentally well, that goes unbalanced. When they're in addiction, it's even worse, huh? When addiction's all messed up. So here, like stress and anxiety, this is for alcoholics, but you can start adapting this. Is what I'm saying. Social events. They should be sober ones, loneliness, boredom, join a club, you know, needing a drink, etc., etc. And then behaviors, practicing Simran, Part, etc., journaling emotions, drinking. But sometimes we need that. I say that's the alcoholic thing, but that's same applies for someone who's got pain, you know? Some of these things, being open about recovery of even if it's mental health. And the rewards, you know, feeling calm, was that a reward? Are you feeling that's a reward? Sometimes we don't want that. We want to do something that makes us go excited. But are you okay with the calmness? Because that sometimes starts saying people swap that with boredom. People swap calmness with boredom. Now you've got a problem. Who doesn't mind getting bored? Good. Just bored, badhiya. You should get bored, because in boredom, your best ideas actually come from your boredom. And sometimes, you know, Simran, when it gets boring, it fixes your work problems. You know, I've come up with the next level solutions when brain went the wrong way. It went the wrong way, but like just because you're calm, the solution comes out. You know, But these are emotions, you know, hope, gratitude, peace, joy, confidence, patience, resilience, contentment, courage. And these aren't necessarily Sikhi ones. These are like, these are for things, but they're all good, positive emotions. The other thing I'll say, sorry we run out of time, but the gut is second brain. Huh? Now, because it contains the enteric nervous system, a vast network of over 100 million neurons lining the gastrointestinal tract, it operates independently. So did you know that? I didn't fully understand this before, but it's a second brain, is that it's got a digestive system, but the neurons in there actually work with your brain. So that's why sometimes, you know, you say, got butterflies in my stomach, because it's actually linked through the vagus nerve up to your brain. So your emotions are coming from here a lot of the time. And if you understand their calm, krodh and all that, they actually start here. It starts there. No, it's so strange. Anyway, but in what there's a transmitter. You could read this afterwards, no? But a significant portion of serotonin, the mood regulator, and dopamine are produced from the gut. Actually, they're from here. They're going that way, you know. So the reason why I wanted to talk about that was look after your way you eat as well. So if you're not feeling great, you know, and then you've got pain, and the way you eat, balance your diet out, huh? Balance. You need to do that, because that might be causing some of the problem. It's not the whole problem, but it will certainly. So poor gut health can increase inflammation and trigger the release of whatever that is, which can impact brain function, cognitive health, and mental well-being. You know? But the there was something here about here, sorry. The bi-directional communication. A stressed mind can cause digestive issues. So that's stress here, digestion problem, you get IBS and all those other issues. But the other way around, an unhealthy gut, so if this is all right and that's not, then that's going to send a message that way of distress signals, and that contributes to anxiety and depression. So when you've got those things, sometimes it's that way, it's going that way, and it's making it worse. So healthy body is really important. And these are the other things around it, which is either the maladaptive and adaptive coping mechanisms. So when you have everyone understand what coping mechanism is? I don't know if it's here. So these are different types of coping mechanisms. You can either do distraction, you could do grounding yourself, you could do an opposite of the problem. So when there's an issue, everybody has to have coping mechanisms in life. So what you have to do is something stressful, you have to find a way. You have to find a way of how do you make yourself okay in that stressful situation. So these are like, this is watching something that's comforting, playing a game, that's a distraction. Sometimes distraction works, sometimes it might not be enough. And now grounding yourself, so tuning out all others and use one, only use one of your five senses. So just start looking at things more and things like that. So these are different ways, doing the opposite. So when worried, do an activity which makes you feel confident. So if you're feeling like down or sad or unconfident, whatever you want, you might do that. Or self-expression, mind, body. So it's something to think. But what it is, these are not helpful when you're trying to make a coping mechanism. So substance abuse, obviously, over or under eating, social withdrawal, compulsive behavior, self-harm, avoidance. But these are positive, coming this way. So seeking professional help. I don't know why they got ticks by them, why they? But cognitive reframing. So that's what NLP is. CBT, cognitive behavior therapy. Physical activity, emotional regulation, health, distraction, and this is rediscovering interest. And these are kind of saying the same kind of thing. So just a few things. Rumination, which we talked about, I think, in week 1. So that's overthinking of something. Keep thinking about it. That doesn't help. And then safety behaviors. So fear of something. So start putting behaviors in place to prevent it, even though that thing might not happen. So there's all sorts of things that they're not good coping mechanisms. These are. So the coping strategy has to be done properly. And this, just so that you can, it's from NHS, and I thought this was great from NHS, because these are just things that you can do that help you. These are good for just staying mentally healthy as well. So mental health first aid is 10 keys. 10 keys to happier living: relating, exercising, awareness, pay attention to your senses, direction, choose a goal that is meaningful, give meaning to things, emotions. So they were good things as well. So we didn't discuss these things anyway. So finally, why we made ourselves weak. So most decisions are driven by fear, desire and ego rather than clarity. Our emotions override reason. The more a person depends on people, status or outcomes, the more fragile they become. So this was helped by AI. I said, what's a human being? Why are they weak? Why is a human being weak compared to, let's say, a machine? And these are our weaknesses. Our worldly attachment creates vulnerability. Comfort seeking weakens the ability to face hardship. We spend our lives avoiding discomfort. People build their self-worth on roles, approval and narratives that can collapse. And we have created identity dependence. So we depend on that fake identity that we've made. Many people panic when life becomes unpredictable, and we have poor tolerance for uncertainty. So now you've understood Gurbani a bit. Gurbani is saying it's uncertain. So now can you still be happy? That's the challenge. Can you still be saying, WhyGuru jo tusi karde theek ya? Jo karna bhi theek ya? That's what all the Ardasa and Bani are saying. Many immediate relief is often chosen over long-term strength. So I think it's very short-term, thinking is. And humans fear rejection. So they suppress truth or moral conviction. So we discussed that a bit more last week. Like a person will sit in a lie if it makes them feel they've got some certainty, rather than sit in the truth, which might be uncertain. So you'll sit in a lie. It's the way we're wired. So to become more resilient, accept this, that people's success, health and life itself temporary. That's going to make us stronger. If you say life is temporary, Now what? Now you have to deal with it. But ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਐਤ ਜਗ ਤਾਂ ਕਾਇਤ ਗਾਰਵ ਹੰਡੀਏ ਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ warns us ਜੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਇੰਨੀ ਹਉਮੈ ਕਾਹਲੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਆ here reduce attachment to outcomes focus on actions and principles rather than the guarantees so what can we do we plant the seed you can't say what the weather's going to be you can't say if it's going to grow WhyGuru does that ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬੀਜ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ you can't do nothing else that's what life is that's how our Sikhi is as well train yourself to do some discomfort have you ever done anything uncomfortable ਕੁਛ ਕੀਤਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੱਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ we just do like little are you all cotton wool please ਦੁੱਖ ਲੱਗੂਗਾ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ you have to be a bit rough ਨਾ ਥੋੜਾ you have to do a bit rough in life as well ये Sikhi भी you know you Kirtan you sit there for about 10 minutes ਲੱਤਾਂ ਦੁਖਦੀਆਂ ਚਲੋ ਚਲੀਏ you don't do that 4 ਘੰਟੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਓ 6 ਘੰਟੇ ਬਹਿ ਜਾਓ we learned that from the Singhs ਬਹਿ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ just sit there ਲੱਤ ਦੁਖਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੁਖਦੀ whatever you have a bit of hardship take responsibility for your responses so you can't control the events but how you react to them is more important detach your identity from the validation so don't you know what Guru says logan ki chatrai upma te basantar jar koi bhala kaho pave bura kaho tan diyo hai tar Guru ji says I don't care about people's cleverness some call me bad some call me good it's like Guru don't care because main apna man Guru nu ditta hai I don't care so you got to detach yourself from people's validation and cause and consequence have a look around bahut shabd hai sadi gurbani vich like ram ashram mit nahi jaane teri tere santan ki ho cheri हंसतो जाए सो रोवत आवे रोवत जाए सो हंसे there's loads of shabds like that बसतो होए से उजड़ होए सो बस है watch WhyGuru operate he'll take a pakka some person who's like really really doing well and chucks them on the ground a person ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੁਝ ਗਰੀਬ ਹੈ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਚੱਕ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ you know ਖਲ ਮੂਰਖ ਕੇ ਪੰਡਤ ਕਰਬੋ ਪੰਡਤ ਦੇ ਮੁਗਦਾਰੀ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋ ਮੂਰਖ ਹੋਵੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪੰਡਤ ਬਣਾ ਦਿੰਦਾ and he makes a pandit into a ਮੂਰਖ you have to watch these consequences and you have to learn from that WhyGuru is operating like this dunya vich inner stillness through naam it's बहुत important I should have put that at the top but accept grief and loss as part of life we're not going to have everybody's not going to be around us bhai jo din aave so din jahi karna kuch rehn thir nahi sang chalat hai hum bhi chalna dur gavan sir upar marna Guru says main bhi ਉਹ ਵੀ ਗਏ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ I'm gonna have to go from here ਬਾਬਾ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ ਉੱਠ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਇਹ ਤਨ ਇਹ ਜਗ ਝੂਠ ਪਸਾਰੋ that's what that shabd was that we went over before this is the final thing I want you to you've come here for 4 weeks maybe you come for 2 maybe you come for 1 what was your question your life question before you started what's your life question today a person is defined or directed by the inner question ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਵਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਆ you know I wrote a book why am I here it's a swal it's a question it's that question doesn't even resonate with us so this is what drives our lives a whole lifetime can go without even questioning that which is beyond daily life what is your inner question so your swal your inner question makes you who you are that's what it is and hopefully after these 4 weeks kuch sikhya tusi kuch prapat hoya did something change has your inner question changed so a person's question can be just that's a deep question a deep desire for meaning what is the purpose of my life have you ever asked that question what's your main question how do I find happiness and contentment that's a need for peace what happens after death they're inquiring saying I don't know what's going to happen in the unknown part of this world why do good or bad things happen to me a need for fairness understanding karma I gave example of that once before where someone said ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਾਪ ਕਰਦੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਮਿਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਪਾਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਤਾ anything so sometimes the person's question is just for that spiritual inquiry what is the soul and does it die how do I balance my material and spiritual life that's a spiritual conflict so someone says should I be a mayatari or should I be a spiritual person and I don't know how to balance the two things how do I experience suffering or challenges why and that's confusion about life why am I on earth that's our existence we're getting curious about our own existence but we haven't done these things, spiritual hunger. ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਨਕ ਭਗਤਾਂ ਭੁੱਖ ਸਲਾਹਣ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਮ ਆਧਾਰ ਸਦਾ ਆਨੰਦ ਰਹੇ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤੀ ਗੁਣਵੰਤੀਆਂ ਪਾਸ਼ਾ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਭਗਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਭੁੱਖ ਬਹੁਤ ਲੱਗੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ। they got spiritual hunger like that, ਹੈ ਨਾ। How can I be a better person? That's self-reflective growth. That's still a good thing, but that could be quite subtle gunish. What is the right path for me? That's uncertainty. And why do I feel disconnected? So there could be many other questions like that. But think about what your inner question is, and that inner question is going to drive your life, really. So your swal, I heard a Maskeen say this one, andala swal hunda banda, that's what the banda is. That's what human being is. So that's it. Thank you very much for all your attention. I hope that you've learnt something about Dukh, Sukh. I tried to put different things in here so that if people watch the 10 before, they'll get something different from here, and people who've just done these 4 will get something from the 10 before, a little bit, little bit of difference. But that was it really. So thank you for attending. Maharaj Kirpa Karan Sade te Gurbaniya is agad bodh, is beyond us. Sade mat to dur ya. Our mat is too small. Meri mat thodi ram. We shote aa si. So but we should do Maharaj ji sif salal. Jidan si shote aa. Asi shote ban ke whatever life brings for us, everybody's mathe has got something different written on it. And everybody's going to go through different challenges in life. But we all got the same goal. We've all got the same goal, है ना। सारे का goal एक या पे साध संगत जो तो इकट्ठी होंदी आ, and we get inner shakti, है ना, then साढ़ा Khalsa is going to rule this dunya. Mark my words, I won't be dead before it happens, but this Khalsa is going to rule the dunya. I promise you that. It's going to rule the dunya. So once everybody starts understanding it, Bani ch ki likhya hai, sare jaag aa jani hai, sare nu jaag aa jani hai. The human beings are going to go the other way. When we look at the weaknesses, they're going to go that way. The jira Khalsa Panth is going to go in a different way. But Khalsa Panth has to go back to Guru. That's our biggest problem now. I see worldly cheezan ch fas gaye hain, but we're not going back to our Guru. We have to go back to our Guru. So I see we'll finish off with small amount of Simran fe sare nu shuttiyan ji. WhyGuru, 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 WhyGuru ji ka Khalsa, WhyGuru ji ki Fateh.